Hey, how's it going? Titanfall 2 is the free game of the month on PlayStation right now. Here's why you should download it, and what you need to know to jump right in. Titanfall 2 is made by Respawn Entertainment, whose other works include Apex Legends, which is set in the same universe and uses a lot of the same assets, Star Wars Fallen Order, and, surprising no one, Titanfall 1. Fingers crossed for Titanfall 3 someday. Titanfall 2 is one of the best FPS experiences of the decade. I have been gushing about this series since I played Titanfall 1 for the first time. Even just the single-player campaign alone is incredible. I would strongly encourage you to try out the campaign at least. In fact, even for those of you who are mostly interested in the multiplayer, I would almost recommend the campaign first, as it'll be a great way to get you used to the gameplay while also having a blast in the campaign. I rank the campaign up there with some of the Halo campaigns. It's just a good time. If it's so good, why do I never hear about it, you ask? Well, calm down, alright, and let me explain. Titanfall 2 got screwed over by an extremely bad release date. EA launched the game the week between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And as you would expect, most people bought those games instead of Titanfall. My friends included, at least until I talked them into trying it. The game came out 3 years ago, and since then, the already humble-sized player base has shrunk down to under 1,000 players online, at least on PlayStation. So it didn't matter how good the game was. Eventually we all just kind of stopped playing it because it got harder and harder to find a match, and there was only one game mode that you could actually find games in at all. But that was until a few days ago when Titanfall 2 became the free game of the month on PlayStation, and multiplayer suddenly has upwards of 75,000 people on at a time. A new golden age of Titanfall is upon us. Now that we got that sorted out, let's talk about the game. Titanfall is the most anime a gritty FPS shooter can get, and I mean that as a good thing. You can run on walls, pilot giant robot war machines, including one with a big-ass sword. You can double jump, slide, grapple around like a ninja, use throwing stars, either light things on fire or disrupt gravity. It's just wild. It's important to note, though, that my first thought, and everyone's first thought when hearing about Titanfall is, that sounds cool in theory, but I feel like it would just be unplayable chaos. And I must stress, that is absolutely not the case. What Respawn manages to do with Titanfall is kind of incredible. This game should feel like a nauseating, unbalanced mess, but it doesn't. Even going up against a Titan as a pilot is a winnable battle, if you know how to play to their weaknesses. So let's talk about being a pilot. Pilots are soldiers that have gone through brutal training to become basically super soldiers. They're trained for advanced combat and piloting Titans. As a pilot, as I mentioned earlier, you can run on walls, which is cool, you can double jump, which adds some extra mobility, and you can slide to maintain your speed. With all three of those things together, you can get around very quickly with a little practice. You've also got access to a variety of abilities like a grapple, invisibility, a speed boost, decoys, and so on. There are also 7 different Titans in the game, which each have several abilities that can be customized with perks, and a core ability like an ultimate ability that you can gain charge for by dealing damage and also by taking damage. You can call on your Titan when your Titan meter is full. Your meter fills slowly automatically, but fills much faster by getting kills and damaging Titans. This is where things get real spicy. The Titans are just freaking cool. They all have different abilities, and they all have counters and strengths and weaknesses, and it feels kind of like larger Overwatch, where you have like, oh, they're all playing this Titan or these couple Titans, let's switch to these ones to counter them. Like if the other team is using a bunch of Legions and Tones, for example, you could switch to Ion and just catch their bullets or rockets and throw them back at them, and then they're just helpless. Or if the enemy team is using several North Stars and Monarchs, you could switch to Legion and unleash your chain gun on them, knowing they have no way to block it, etc. There's a lot of different matchups. It's pretty neat. Plus, there's Titan exclusive modes where there's just only Titans. There's one called Last Titan Standing, which is my favorite mode. Titanfall feels like the developers sat back and looked at all the things other FPS games did wrong or like could have done better and rolled everything they learned into one game. Little things like being able to search for multiple game modes at once, a pretty simple UI, having almost infinite levels to progress through. You can regen your levels up to 100 times. I feel like I played this game a ton, but I'm not even Gen 20 yet. So when I see someone that's Gen 100, I like poop my pants. The movement is smooth. The gunplay is smoother, the combat is intense, and the Titans are crunchy. Out of all the games I've played, I think I've saved the most video clips in this game. It's like how you still see gameplay clips from Battlefield 4 because there's just so much crazy stuff that can happen in the game. But instead of helicopters and jets, in this game, it's giant robots running on walls and just generally being Spider-Man. Seriously though, this game is fantastic, and I really hope that you choose to try it out. I'm having a blast being able to play this game again with all the new players. If this video does well, I want to make a complete guide to the game and all the guns, Titans, abilities, and everything, for anyone who wants to learn more about the finer details about the game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the frontier, pilot.